Why don't you tell us about how you believe wonder impacts the potential self-design of a person?
One of the things that I think that you're talking about is, this idea that, it has to do with how we view ourselves. I mean, it really gets at that. And I think that many of us, we lead very busy lives, and we believe that the more that we do, the better we are. So, we need, if we're not as busy as we should be, then we need to add more activities. And we develop routines, and life becomes very predictable, and it loses its edge often. And this can happen at different stages of our lives, at different ages. And I think that if you can think back, I think that some of our most honest moments are when we're young, before we learn all of the social conventions and expectations of how we should be thinking and behaving and acting. And when you see a young child who maybe sees something new for the first time, when they bite into an apple, they eat a strawberry, they go to the zoo and they see a giraffe, for the first time, and their eyes get really open, and they're in awe. They have a sense of wonder. And I think that we all can relate to that. And there's something about how a child can bring everyone together, because we all share that common experience at that time, when we were at that age. And something happens as we grow older. Something happens, and I think that when you think about the idea, the section on wonder falls in the learning section of the book. When you think about what is the purpose of education, what is the purpose of learning, how do we facilitate a learning environment in which people really achieve? I think that it's all about kind of cultivating, nurturing that sense of wonder, going back to those things that really inspired us, and maybe tracing, even though it might be a little sad, tracing kind of our past, and where along the way did we stop saying, wow, when we open up the window and look outside at what's around us, or even at ourselves. I mean, we are beautifully complex beings, and we may not always like the way we look and things like that, but we are remarkable. And I think that there is the thing that I've always been fascinated with is the evidence of God's creative fingerprints that are all over every human being. Mm-hmm. And I think that as we talk about soul care, a lot of people involved in ministry focus on that, and that's very important. I also think that it's important to have design care, and that is nurturing those things within us that are our gifts, those things like wonder. And the more that we do that, the more we realize who we are and why we're here.
Well, I know myself, having read the book, I more than once paused and was in a reflective mode about what I just read. And one of the things that, in regard to wonder, was that I went back and sort of looked at my self-inspection about where I was and when did I lose my sense of wonder. And I kept my sense of wonder probably longer than most people my age. My my childhood and my teenage formative years was in that period, Tony, when it was sort of like the Ozzie and Harriet time frame, and Leave It to Beaver kind of thing, where issues of great importance did not weigh on society as it did. And so I'm talking about the 50s and the early 60s. And that sense of wonder stayed with me for a long time. And I know that one of the things that this book will do for those that choose to buy it and to read it, it will give them a new view of where they're headed, no matter where they are chronologically at this point in their life. Because I think the book is so well done that it could be picked up by a very articulate, understanding 15-year-old, and it would work. And then I think it also has import for someone that's 65, who may be at a crossroads in her or his life at retirement. You know, what do I do for the rest of my life? You know, where's my wonder? You know, where can I help create dreams? And you provide a route or a pathway to being able to do that.